crap they're saying. None of that shit happened. Huh? You want to hear what did? Anything else you want? Maybe you want a quick buck while we're waiting? I'm not cussing, those are regular words. All right. Happened. And the camping. Excuse me. Huh? I'm not mumbling. Tell you normal. It happened last year, September. We just gotten back from camping anyways. I was even kind of happy that we were back. So there's nothing but mosquitoes out at that camp, and they put Chris A. Tanya in my room. So all night long I see nothing but mosquitoes on her bad ass, and that's the last thing I want to see. The only funky thing that happened was when Vidya pantsed Alex, and we all keeled over laughing. I felt a little sorry for Alex. I mean, he probably didn't think it was so funny. Anyways, I said to pack up your things that we're going home, and when we were picking, I lifted Tanya's studded hair clip. What's a fat slob like her need with a hair clip for? And then we get on the bus, and I was kind of bummed because I realized I can't even wear the thing. I mean, Tanya would sniff that out right away. But I decided if I ever get a boyfriend, I'd wear the hair clip out on our dates. But until I get a boyfriend, I just let it hang. But man, it was like I knew something was gonna happen. I mean, there was a guy. I'm no scarecrow or nothing, but usually we just hung out at Kegers. I mean, we kissed a time or two. His breath stunk like potatoes all the time. I mean, I never even realized how disgusting that is. I mean, I'm kissing him at a dance once, I'm kissing him, and then I'm thinking, what if I stink like potatoes now? But I just can't tell. Even if I didn't used to stink like potatoes, I sure will now. So, I ran to the bathroom, and I'm standing there washing my mouth out with soap like forever. And then a bunch of girls come into the washroom. They dragged me into one of the stalls to light up, and I went with them. Svetya is inhaling beer. And she goes and opens one of the windows and says, "You chicken, you jump?" I say, "You stupid twit, your brain's fried? Where are you gonna jump to? It's the 3rd floor." And Svetya gets all huffy and says, "I know you won't jump." Who says I won't jump? I mean, she's telling me I won't jump? What makes you think I won't jump? And Svetya's going, "Jump, jump!" And I say, "Hey, pillow tits, is your head screwed on that?" But Svetya just goes and opens the window wider. I mean, naturally, at this point, I'm scared some, but I mean, there's no going back. Couldn't flake out from Svetya, so I give her this look like, "You fucking cow." And down I went. I don't even remember what happened after that. But as I started flying, I really started shitting it because I figured this was it. And so I made a wish. I went real love. I want a bridal veil and chocolate candies, and I want all the girls to be following us in the line, and I want them all to be dying of envy. Only, that's not the main thing. The main thing is for him to love me. For him to come to me and say, "Natasha, you are the baddest damn chick on earth. Would you marry me?" I'd marry a guy like that right now. It would never occur to me that jumping out of a 3rd floor window would make your dreams come true. It totally does though. I mean, if you don't believe me, try it. Well, you gotta make your wish real fast because there's almost no airtime. I came through in the hospital, and right away, He told me there was some smart-looking young man coming around asking about me. First thing I think is, Sanya? I mean, Sanya may be a certified 4 eyes, but he's no smart-looking young man. And anyways, I don't know any smart-looking young man. When he came in, I realized right then it was him. Because who else would have just up and come and visit me in the hospital? True, he didn't say anything about getting married. He said he was a reporter from the Pinecone Spark, and he wanted to write about me in the paper. And all I had to do was tell him about my life. I mean, nothing special, just shit like that. He wanted to know if the supervisors were mean to us, whether they fed us all right, how much money they gave us. And heck, I might jump out the window. Was it for the fun of it, or was it the end of my wits? And actually, I was kind of ruffled because last year when I did that interview with Arena J after she won some wood carving contest, he didn't ask her any questions about supervisors. He just asked her about her creative plans for the future. Well, that's exactly how they put it. Arena, what are your creative plans for the future? My creative plans are to carve a bunch of airplanes and present them to the supervisors on Victory Day. And there was a really classy photo on half the page. All the girls are going around choking with envy. I mean, I was a little envious to her. But then I thought, at least I'm a natural blonde, and Arena dyes her hair. And I forgot about it. Sveta, though, is going around all shit-faced angry. She keeps slipping copies of the newspaper in the bathrooms in place of toilet paper, so everybody would laugh. But nobody laughed. And that's when I even kind of started to feel sorry for Arena J. This reporter, Valerie, came to see me on the second day with this thing. It's called a dictaphone. You can say all kinds of things into it, and later it'll play them back to you. He asked me if the kids in the orphanage treat me mean. Yeah, right. I can bust a lock of a washroom door with one swift kick, and I'm such a wimp, I'm gonna worry about them treating me mean? And he asked about my parents, do I remember them and all, and what happened and everything. So, I'm looking at this guy, and I say, Valerie, my mother called me her abortion that went and survived. See, that's how I am, see. I play the role of the experienced toughie, so he'd know who he was talking to. I mean, what am I gonna do? Tell him about Vadim, the pimp that went and snuffed out my mom? But then he asks me, Natasha, what's your dream? And that's when I realized this was the guy. Because nobody had ever asked me about my dreams before, and then this guy just up and flat out asks me. I say, Valerie, what's this about dreams? We're grown-ups. We gotta keep our nose to the grindstone. The whole time I'm thinking, man, ask me again. Oh, I must have lost my mind to answer him that way. I should just blurted it out about my dreams so that he would understand me, and then he would say to me, Natasha, you are the baddest damn chick on earth. Would you marry me? I was scared by the thing he was holding. The recording thing, because, yeah. I go and tell him about my dream, and then what if somebody else hears it? I'd have my height. So, I answered him the way I answered him, and he didn't see anything. He said he hoped I get better, and she can visit him in the newspaper office when I get out. They discharged me a week later. Told me to avoid stress and lift in heavy objects. Oh, but I still had this huge bruise on my arm that looked just like a cat. I wear all my short sleeve stuff so everybody would see it. And when I get back, I get Svetya and I say, let's go have a tack and a smoke. And we go into the washroom and I grabbed a fistful of her hair and I said, what are you trying to do, you young retard? Huh? You got your damn head screwed on around? Do you know who you're messing with? And Svetya's screaming and I am mapping the floor with her hair. But then I got tired of that. I crawled into bed and pretended to go to sleep. But the whole time I'm thinking, Natasha, what's your dream? Natasha, what is your dream? And I kept repeating that over and over again until I fell asleep for real. Now, I'm still excused from going to classes, so the next day I wake up and it's the middle of the day and all the girls are back from school changing their clothes. And one of the supervisors comes in. It makes like she wants to check everybody's homework, but she's giving me dirty looks. Sick? Are you, Natasha? She says. Yeah, I'm sick, Mrs. Stepana. Not too sick to fight, though, are ya? I deny the whole thing. What fight, Mrs. Stepana? Look at this bruise. Then heck continues so you dragging Svetya around by the hair. That bitch, I think. That fat slob goes around and ruts like nobody's business. Oh, did she figure out about the hair clip or something? Nuh-uh, I said, nothing of the sort. And now Svetya looks up. She was standing there digging through her purse the whole time. And she says, nothing happened at all, Mrs. Stepanov. We were just kidding around. She aims her little blue eyes at the floor. And that's when I realized that Svetya, even if she's a zit-faced scabby dog, well, she's still my best friend. So, in the cafeteria at lunch, I call her over and I say, I get something to discuss. And I spill all the beans about Valery. And Svetya was great. And she understood right away that it was time to make tracks to the newspaper office. She says, you shouldn't be going anywhere alone right now. So, I'll go with you, and then I can check him out myself, too. Then, I'll give it to you straight, whether he's the one or not. All right. Fuck it then. Little Red Riding Hood wants to troop along, I'll let her. But I tell her, don't go painting yourself all up. I'm not going to a frickin' dance. We gotta let this guy know right off the bat that we're not chick liver. Maybe we're not shit hat high class. We may be orphan kids, but we know what we're worth. So, we pull ourselves together. I pin in Chris 18's hair clip real quiet like, and we set off. And we get there, and we ask this guy, all business-like, where might we find Valery? And he says, down there in that office. There's a sign outside the door, all glam and slam, that says, Pinecone Spark Ephesus. We go in and there are like 7 people all sitting around. Their faces all stuck in their monitors. Everybody's smoking. So much smoke in here first I couldn't even see. I squint my knees and look around. And there he is. Right, the rab sitting over there in the corner by the window. So I go up to him and I say, hey Valery, how are ya? And he says, hey Natasha, cool. You want to copy the paper, eh? And I say, yeah, and to see how you're doing. Everything's great. He says, and hands me a copy of the paper. At this point, I realize if I don't spill the beans, we're gonna pass the chips in the night. And so I say, Valery, do you think we could like talk? And he says, yeah. Well then, let's talk. And I say, but it's here. Do you think we could like go for a walk or something? And he says, meet me at the park tomorrow at 6. The one right here by the office. And I'll see you there. Man, my armpits started leaking from hearing that. I'll be there, I said. And he says, good. Go on then. I'll see you tomorrow. And I left. It was like I was blind. I even ran flat into Svetya, who was standing outside the door, shining her blackheads on the whole office. And we were walking down the street, and Svetya's going, Saw? What the hell? What the hell happened? I can't see anything. It's like my head is spinning with the words. Natasha, what's your dream? Natasha, what's your dream? Like a broken record. I don't even remember what happened the rest of the day. Like, every 5 minutes, I keep going into the common room, looking at the clock, thinking, when's it gonna be tomorrow? When's it gonna be tomorrow? And when we got back, Chrissy Tanya saw her hair clip, and boy, did she hit the roof. Oh, go clam it, you stinking fat firm, I said. I didn't feel like cussing her out. I felt so good-natured. Couldn't believe it. I mean, usually, you know, I let her have it for something like that, but I didn't even feel like cussing. Just waved her off and went to my room. Well, at least she doesn't share a room with me, or I would have strangled her ages ago. I crawled into bed, and after lights out, I went to the bathroom and pulled the newspaper that Valeria gave me out of my pajamas. I decided to read about myself first, and then I passed the paper around for all the other girls to see it. I figured since it was me they're writing about, I had to read it first. Svetya was whining at me the whole way home. Let me see ya! Let me see ya! I say, Svetya, no way! Go learn to read first. So, I pulled the newspaper out, and I'm sitting there reading it all over. Only, there's nothing there about me. I mean, there's supposed to be, but there isn't. I mean, I read the whole damn thing. I even checked out the crossword puzzle. Nothing. And then on the last page, on the backside of the last page, in little binky letters, there's something about some cop getting killed, 2 cars running into each other. And me. Really? About me. There it was in black and white. The orphanage resident, Natasha Benina, jumped from a window from the 3rd floor. Responding to journalist questions, the girl replied that she had jumped inadvertently with no intention of committing suicide. At present, Natasha's state of health presents no danger to her well-being. There is no photo. That was kind of a bummer. My whole name and all, but no photo. I couldn't help but think of Arena J again. Svetya was right to go sticking copies of that newspaper in all the bathrooms. On the other hand, I'm the journalist's friend now. You think he won't publish a picture of me? The next day, I counted every minute in the clock. I thought the time would never come. But I'm also thinking, if I do this right, I've got to be late. But then I think, yeah, right, I show up late and he doesn't wait because he thinks I'm not coming. Oh, I changed my mind in that one. In the end, I got to the park at 5:30 and sat on a bench waiting. Didn't even light up a cigarette. Chewed my gum instead. I'm sitting there, what seems like forever. And then suddenly, I hear his voice. Hey, Natasha. And I almost keel over from panic, but I turn around, real calm-like, and I say, hey, Valeri, how are ya? Inside me, though, it's like everything is turning upside down. It's like I don't remember how to breathe. My chest is pounding like a drum, and I'm gasping for air with my mouth. So, what's on your mind? I'm sitting there, rocking my head back and forth like a horse. Second, I say, let me think. So, they treat me mean there at the orphanage? He asks, and I say, well, anything can happen. So, how come you jumped out the window? Did you want to commit suicide? Naturally, I had no such plan. It was all Svetja's fault, that idiot, but I tell him anyway. Yeah, I did. And then he says, Natasha, you want a glass of juice or something? Some pap? And I say, yeah, some juice and some cigarettes too, if that's all right. And he goes and brings me back a juice and a beer for himself. Hands me the cigarettes. Parliament. And we're sitting there smoking, and I spent my whole life out for him. I mean, I don't know what came over me. You know, these jerks always complain all the time, and what am I, a jerk? I mean, when we were kids, we used to grab warrants like that and give them purple nurples, the creeps. You think life's hard, do ya? But man, it was like I opened up the floodgates and I couldn't stop. I'm telling him everything, and I'm thinking, this guy is gonna pop me one. Stupid orphan girl, he'll say, and then leave. But he's just sitting there, listening. And at one point, he even takes my hand real careful, like as if I were a little kid or something. Only nobody ever used to hold their hands like that, even when I was a kid. When they'd only grab your hands as they were dragging you into the principals. I mean, I'm no little girl anymore, but my heart's going boom, boom, boom. Oh, you idiot. I'm thinking, you should have borrowed Svetja's hand lotion. Your hands are squishy. We sat like that for a long time. And I told him about all kinds of things. About all the girls, about Arena G, about my best friend Svetja, about our dances. And then he says, all right, Natasha, let's go. I'll see you back. And then we went together. And the whole time we're rocking back, I'm thinking, what a son of a bitch town. I mean, how come it has to be so small? Can't even take a decent walk in it. I mean, if we were in Moscow, we could walk all night long and I'd tell him everything, and then in the morning he would say to me, Natasha, you are the baddest damn chick on earth. Would you marry me? If we were in Moscow, he would definitely say that. Not here. To say something like that, you have to build up to it, and you need time. And where are you going to get time when you can walk across this whole damn town in an hour? When he was gone, at the orphanage, he gave me a hug and said, Natasha, take care of yourself. Can you imagine that? Natasha, take care of yourself. Natasha, take care of yourself. I don't remember how I went in or how I went to sleep or whatever it was I told the super on duty. It's the first time I ever forget everything. I mean, I've been to a lot of booze parties and I still remember everything. But here, it's like I was sick. I'm lying there in bed, the lights out, can't sleep. Shadows are crawling all over the wall. I'm watching that and I'm thinking, Natasha, take care of yourself. Natasha, take care of yourself. Natasha, take care of yourself. That's when it started. I mean, nothing like that had ever happened to me before. Sure, Wilson and I kissed a couple times, but hell, I never thought about him before. But this guy, I can't get out of my mind. Sitting there in class and thinking about him, smoking with the girls in the washroom. I'm thinking about him. Even got a B on some composition about some Ophelia chick, whatever it was. Basically, I don't remember. Sveta even says to me at one point, "What happened to you, Natasha? You're a total dunce. They try to talk to you and you just keep rocking your head back and forth like a horse." I mean, usually I'd pull her hair for something like that, but I don't care. I mean, she's right. I'm totally out of it. Just keep looking out the window thinking, maybe he'll come by. I mean, could I be any more stupid? I mean, obviously he isn't gonna come by. I mean, what's he know what room I live in? Still, keep looking out there so hard, my eyes start hurting. And all the girls are going, "What's your problem?" Can I just say nothing? Just keep looking out the window. One day, I come back from class, and Mrs. Stepana gave me this. "Natasha, come in here." I know right away I'm in for it for something. I go into her office, and she holds out this newspaper and says, "What is this, Benina? You want to get transferred to reform school?" And she's always threatened to send us to reform school. But she had a look on her face this time like she was ready to do it without thinking about it. And she could dig up a couple of old referrals, and it's like, goodbye, girls. But I ask her, "What's the problem?" And she says, "I see you got a real tough life here, Natasha. Maybe you'd like it better in reform school." And she grabs my hand, the bitch, and sinks her fingernails into me. Man, that stung. And she says, "Have you gone totally off your rocker? When did anybody here ever hit you? When did anybody here ever lay a finger on you?" Me, I'm thinking, yeah, you just try it and you'll be picking your pieces up in the corners. When I was 10, I remember when Mrs. Stepanov whacked me on the side of the head so hard, it hurt for a week. What's the bitch think I forgot about that? I don't forget nothing, and I'm not planning to forget anything. I'll eat shit if I have to be. You'll just go and try it. But then I think, what's she talking about though? So I ask her, "What are you talking about?" And she holds out this newspaper and says, "Here, take a look at this." And she's got this look on her face like, "Oh, we've been so good here, Natasha. Like, everybody here just loves you." Man, I hate it when she looks at me like that. Makes me want to spit in her face. So, take the newspaper into the bedroom. I sit there reading it. And it's printed there. word for word almost, just like I told Valeria. Son of a bitch, I think, to go and write some crap like that. I told that to you and nobody else. You ain't got no sense of decency at all. I was really ticked. I'm sitting there staring at a spot in the wall thinking, you fucker, man. Then you think, so what's he a fucker for? He just didn't know that he can't go and write some crap like that because they'd kill me after. Maybe he wanted to defend me. Maybe he wanted to write something to make somebody want and come and get me out of here. He has no idea what it's like here. And then there was this one phrase. This young girl, in her short life, has experienced more than is imaginable. And one is horrified to think what else awaits her in the future. Will she survive? And I just felt so good that he was horrified for my future. Nobody's ever been horrified for my future before. And then I felt really bad that I got pissed at him and even kissed the newspaper right where his name was printed. Who gives a shit about the supervisor? I've got some real influence on my side now. And she sure as hell isn't gonna go up against the pinecone spark. She would have the nerve. And even if she doesn't give a damn about me, Valeria does. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. What if she does send me to reform school? How am I gonna see Valeria then? And it's like tears coming to my eyes. I'm sitting there in the bathroom, sitting in the pet, crying like a baby. And Svet is even knocking on the door, going, "Open up, Ann, what's going on in there?" I say, "Screw you, bimbo." And I just sit there blubbering. And I'll kill that supervisor if she tries to pull any shit on me. And then I thought about my mom. She wrote me a letter once. I was about 4 years old, and she was sent to prison for 6 months, and I had to go live with her friend Andrea. Andrea never beat me like my mom did, but she was always screaming at me and wouldn't let me touch anything, which I wasn't even doing anyways. She had this video machine. She was always worked up I was gonna break it. And one day she comes home with this letter and says, "Dance. Your mama sent you a letter." I said, "What do you mean, dance?" She says, "Dance." So I dance some. And she says, "Now while you're dancing, start taking off your dress." And she laughs like a horse. She was really drunk. And I said, "Screw that." And she says, "Then you don't get your letter." And she went to the other room. I waited there like forever. Then I went to the room and I said, "Give me my letter." And she was just snoring already. So I slipped the letter out of her packet and opened it up and went to read it. And what it said was, "Natasha, I love you and I miss you." Really. That's what it said. Even though I wasn't old enough to read it yet. I used to take that letter out and look at it all the time. And when my mom came home, I showed her the letter, and she took it away from me. And she figured that I didn't need the letter anymore since she was home again. I thought about these 2 photos of Mom I have. There's this one, you know, of her sitting there all made up, fancy and pretty now, and she's sitting next to this guy, and there's this table next to him, and it's got this great spread of food and drink in it. I would say what you will about my mom, but she knows how to live life right. And there's this other photo of her where she's like 14. I never even look at the one where she's with the guy. Look at the one where she's 14. It's black and white, and my mom's really smiling it and kind of scared. She's standing there all nervous, like, just like all the twerps around here. I don't think of her like that because she's my mom. And anyways, I even kind of want to feel sorry for her for that. Give her a hug and say, Ma'am, hey ma'am, do you remember when you wrote me that letter? You did write what I thought you wrote, didn't you? When I look at that photo, I can basically, my mom was just really unlucky. Basically, she didn't need anything, anybody, except for me. And now, I need something to Valery. I mean, he's horrified for my future. Man, big fat tears started rolling down my face, drip by drip. Man. I was thinking about that all day long. All day long, and I even went and fucking forgot about the dance. Something like 2 weeks went by. And the supervisor went and forgot about reform school. But me, I'm still walking around thinking about one thing. Valery. Where is he? I'm dying. I want to see him so bad. I don't know what to do about it. So I get Svetya and I say, Svetya, I think I'm losing it. Some kind of unhealthy bullshit is happening to me. Svetya says, what's your problem, man? What do you mean you don't know? Go and see him, man. Say, hi, cutie, I'm your cutie pie, and I'll bet you. Make up your face and get all gorgeous. What are you waiting for, man? You only live once. You know, Svetya's basically a jerk and all, but every once in a while she says stuff that, like, wow. I have no idea where it comes from. But I'm thinking, yeah, she's right. I gotta make a move. So, I put in all my makeup, and I pinned in Crescentinia's hair clip, and I made a beeline for the newspaper. And I get there, hot shit and fancy, and I'm marching. I see him sitting there. He's writing something. So, I go up to him and I say, hi, Valery, how are ya? And he says, hey, Natasha, you want a cup of tea? And I say, yeah, sure. And he says, sit down, and I'll pour you a cup. And I sit down, and I sit there, and I have no idea what to say. No, I mean, I know that he's this person with, you know, fucking high education, and with him you gotta talk like music and movies and everything, but what the hell movies have I ever seen at the orphanage? And I try to talk music, but the only thing that comes into my head is, get me out of here, won't you please? Take me over the 7 seas. It's the song, y'all know. They play it at all of our dances, and we go really wild to it. And then he takes out this bag of candy and he says, "Here you go, Natasha. And here's some. Only I'm real busy. I've got to write." He sticks his face back in his computer. But I'm just sitting there, sucking down candies, just zoning in on this guy. God, he's cute. He's got eyelashes as long as a girl's. I mean, I never thought I'd fall for some stupid shit like that, but here I am sitting there and thinking, he's got eyelashes like a girl's. He just keeps writing, and I just keep looking. Finished my tea ages ago, and like, it's time to go now, but I just keep zoning in on him. Main thing is, though, I have no idea what to say. First time this ever happened. And then he says, "Natasha, I bet you the supervisors back there are already looking for you." And I say, "Nah, they're not." And boom, I'm just zoning in on those eyelashes of his again. And then he says, "Natasha, you'll come back and see me if you have any problems." And I say, "Yeah, sure, I will." And I'm thinking, yeah, this guy really is fighting for my future if he tells me to come back and see him if I have any problems. And then I think, I better go, or he might get the wrong idea. And I went. And as I'm walking back, I start considering, what kind of problems do I have? I gotta have some pretty big ones, big enough so I can come back and see him. And so, when I get back, I get Svetya, and I say, "Svetya, I gotta come up with a problem, or else I can't go back and see him." And Svetya says, "Yeah, I don't know." Like, maybe I got AIDS? Idiot! I tell her, "What the hell are you saying?" She says, "What's a big deal? People always pity sick people. When I was in the hospital with pneumonia, even the supervisors felt sorry for me. And my botany teacher even gave me a C instead of thumping me. That's what's wrong with being sick. Let's do something else," I said. So, Svetya thinks for a while, goes to the head, and then comes back and says, "I know what. What if someone wants to adopt you? Spaniards! Oh, honey, you don't want to go. What if this future dad of yours is a, what do you call him, a pervert? And it's just your luck that you know, but nobody believes ya. And they're gonna take ya to Spain!" I say, "Svetya, what the fuck have you been smoking? Spaniards, what the hell?" "Oh, you've been listening too much Mir than Mason. Doesn't cut it." So, Svetya and I keep thinking about my problem, but when we don't come up with anything, we go to bed. I couldn't stand it though. So the next day, I went to see him anyways, even though I didn't have a problem. We drank tea again, he wrote, and I watched him, just like a novelist's wife or something. Novelists did have wives, didn't they? And that's when it hit me. He was mine. And I wasn't going to give him up to anyone because I never had anything before. And why should I have to give something up for it if it's mine? Only it's not mine like Chris Aitania's hair clip or my jeans or my notebook or something. It's mine like something you can't put in your packet and something you can't throw away and something you can't ever get sick of. It's just totally mine. That's all there is to it. can't even say why it's yours, it just is. Man, it makes you feel so incredibly good. It's like the inside of your chest is all warm and fuzzy. And then I don't know. I mean, what's there to say? I start going to see Bulagaria every day. We drink a lot of tea. He even gave me a book too by some Alexander Cooperin guy. Story called Alessia. It's about this beautiful witch and how this asshole Cooperin guy dumps her and then even goes and writes a story about it. And basically, I don't like reading books. I like music better. But this one I read though. And I even kind of wanted to look like Alessia, so I could be a witch too. I mean, is that cool or what? You don't have to pull anybody's hair or anything. You just wave your hands and say, "Fuck you, bitches, don't move." And then everybody's paralyzed right then. Valeri walked me home twice too. Even though he's a really sick mother, he still sent me home. Well, basically, he was in college in another city, but then his mom got sick, so he lives here now. That fucking pimp Vadim hadn't beaten my mom to death, I never would have left her either. My mom was really beautiful. Her makeup like sparkled, made your eyes water. I used to climb up on her lap when I was a kid, and she'd say, "Get after me, I got my makeup on," and mess it up. And I'd say, "Will you give me your lipstick when I grow up?" She'd say, "Sure you will." And she was always promising to give me things, her lipstick and her dresses. Only Vadim took all that stuff away after she died. Came in some big car and hauled it all away. So I got nothing left. I killed that fucker Vadim, but I mean, he got killed later anyway, like 3 years later or something. I told all this to Valeri, and I wasn't even ashamed for him to hear it. I mean, it was almost like I wanted him to know or something. I don't know. But then he says to me, "Natasha, you have beautiful eyes." I'm sure Rosalind told me I had a pretty shithead ass once, but nobody ever said anything about my eyes before. So I was always waiting for when Valeri would kiss me. And he just looked at me. He wouldn't kiss me. Maybe he was afraid because I wasn't 18 yet. I went on like that for about 3 months. Every day. I even skipped going to home ec, even though they're teaching us how to sew, and I kind of like sewing. I can't say anything to the other girls. I can't even look at them. And as for Rosalind, I really nailed him. Just let him totally have it. And the people in Valeri's office were already starting to call me by name. They'd say, "Hello, Natasha." And I'd come in, Valeri would pour me a cup of tea, and he'd push the bag of candy towards me and say, "Here you go, Natasha. Go ahead. I got these just for you." I mean, if somebody wants to blow you up, they don't go around buying you candy. Plus, he taught me how to play solitaire on his computer. And then I don't want to talk about it. I mean, no. I'm not going to do it. What are you looking at me for? What are you out looking at? What did I do? It's not my fault. I didn't want that to happen. It's just, I came in and he said Valeri wasn't there. Some guy in the hall said that. But he won't let me in the door. So I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. The next day I come back, and guy says Valeri's not there again. And the next day it happens again. But he won't let me in the door. Oh, he takes me by the hand and leads me out to the street. No, he's not being rude about it or anything. No, he's perfectly polite. He won't let me in the door. I don't give a damn. I just keep coming back and coming back, and they said Valeri doesn't work there anymore, and I shouldn't keep coming back. I knew he was there. I could feel it right here in my heart and my lungs and my guts. I started going out for walks alone at night. I figured, so what if somebody kills me, if some maniac jumps me and strangles me to death, or some car hits me and kills me? One night, I didn't come home at all. I just sat there on a park bench, curled up half the night. And that's when I saw him. With her. With that bitch. They were going along holding hands. And then they got to this doorstep, and he like gave her a hug and kissed her. At that point, I wanted to die. I wanted to shrink down into nothing. I wanted to be a dot. Just a tiny little dot like that my teacher draws on the blackboard. I didn't want to be alive or to remember. I didn't want anything to be. Nothing. Nothing at all. I didn't even cry. I just sat there. Okay. And then I thought, Mama, take me away from here. Take me away. And the next morning, when I was going back, I just went wild with hate for that cunt. What the hell right did she have to go kissing him? What the hell right did she have to take him away from me? Who the hell is she? He's mine. He was mine, and I had no intention of giving him away. And then she comes around, and it's like, bitch, cunt, slut, that's all she's got. I mean, she's got everything. She's got parents and a home. She's got earrings and cosmetics and lipstick and a mobile and all kinds of clothes. She probably gets cookies by the pound. What right did she have to take him away from me? I found him first. I fell in love with him first. And then, I don't want to talk about it. Can I have some water? Next day, when I was going back, I called all the girls together, all the bitches, and I said, we gotta listen to teacher. They're like, hung out at that same doorstep for about 2 days. I recognized her right away, slut. Even though it was real dark. And then, you know, it's like, we gotta have a tack over there behind the garages. want it to be like that. It wasn't on purpose. I mean, I just pulled her hair a little, and Svitia scratched her face. It was Gulia who started kicking her in the head. I didn't want it to be like that. It never occurred to me that she would be such a wimp. I mean, there's no premeditational conspiracy like they all said there was. There wasn't. That's not true. We didn't want to put her into a coma. We didn't want to inflict those aggravated things, those wounds like they said. That's what the detective wrote down. Like, that's what we were planning to do. And so, I appealed to you, the court, to review the evidence again. I mean, she didn't die. She'll end up getting better, the bitch. Oh, what, you think she's not gonna come out of a coma without her parents' money? I heard she's gonna be fine. And now because of this cunt, I'm going to prison? What did I do? All I did was love Valeri and want him to be mine so that we could go for walks together and drink tea, and he would say to me, Natasha, you are the baddest damn chick on earth. Would you marry me, Natasha? You are the baddest damn chick on earth. Would you marry me, Natasha? You are the baddest damn chick on earth. I think that at least 10 other guys will say that to her. That slut. I mean, look at the clothes she wears. But what about me? Who's gonna say that to me? Wilson? Are you kidding me? Wilson doesn't have the brains to say that. And anyway, I don't want Wilson saying that. I didn't want to put her into a coma. I didn't want anything like that. I wanted was for a bridal veil and sugar candies and for all the girls to be following us to line and for all of them to be dying of envy. It was just a dream I had. Don't you all have dreams? It's not fair to go around busting up other people's dreams. If a person really loves, how can that be right? It just isn't fair. Plus, Chris Aitinia's hair clip got busted in jail. All that's left are the studs. See?